Hey guys, it's Chris. Video games are a major part of our culture, and some have become huge and made a ton of money. From Pac-Man to Super Mario, here are 9 of the most addicting video games in history. Number 9. Pac-Man. The arcade era in both Japan and the United States was a crucial element of the video game boom. It inspired many people to deposit their quarters into various machines and enjoy the experience that happened for the minutes or longer that they played. And few games had the feel and the enjoyment that Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man had. In fact, if you talk to people who played these games a lot, there's a bit of a debate as to which game is better and most addicting. Pac-Man was the original, but Ms. Pac-Man helped solidify the brand. Either way, though, the simple yet encouraging gameplay of moving the Pac-Mans across the screen in order to get all the pellets while avoiding the ghosts was entertaining and compelling all at once. World records have been set by those who love to play the game with all they've got. Now, you might think that the Pac-Man craze died with the arcades, but you would be wrong. Pac-Man Championship Edition gave the franchise a new life in a big way, and some even rank it as high as the originals in the fun department. Plus, Pac-Man is so popular that he got put into Super Smash Bros., a very addicting fighting game. While many kids from those arcade days are now adults, just about all of them will recognize the sights and sounds of Pac-Man instantly. Number 8. Minecraft. What does it mean to be a video game? This is a question that many have asked over the decades. But when it comes to Minecraft, there's only one answer. A game is something that you can build stuff in and have fun doing it. When it comes right down to it, Minecraft excels because of the freedom it gives players to do what they can do. Yes, there is a purpose to the game, but fans and gamers have gone beyond that and used the blocky visuals and simple mechanics in order to build whatever the heck they want in the game. And the team at Mojang have allowed that in every way possible. In Minecraft, you can gather materials from all over, or in certain modes, you're given all the materials you could ever need, and let loose to build whatever your heart desires. If you go onto YouTube, you'll see thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not millions of videos of people showing off their creations. They've built buildings, cities, ships, and enough pop culture references to make a whole board of Jeopardy categories. This game became so addicting and popular that Microsoft spent $2.5 billion to buy the dev team and all rights to the game. The game is also so addicting that since its original release, it's come out to every major gaming platform, regardless of whether it was a PC, console, or handheld. Recent estimates say that 91 million people play this game monthly, and its total in sales is estimated at over $1.65 billion. Number 7. Guitar Hero and Rock Band. How many of you wanted to play a musical instrument when you were growing up? And then how many of you wanted to start a band when you grew up? Now, how many of you got to do that? Exactly. While many rock stars' dreams died because of not having access, Guitar Hero and Rock Band took those dreams and gave them new life, letting you rock out, pun intended, to some of the most classic and eternal songs ever made. Guitar Hero and Rock Band had a very simple premise. They'd give you peripherals to play instruments like guitars or drums, or even a microphone if you'd prefer to sing. Then a song would play on the screen, and you would use the color-coordinated buttons or pads to play the correct notes, and thus actually be playing the songs that were on the screen. And while this may sound simple, it was very addicting to gamers. They could be part of Boston or Kansas. They could belt out notes like Bon Jovi or Aerosmith. And in later versions, they even let you make your own songs via the instruments and upload them online if you wanted to. These games sold like hotcakes. Now, some will point out that both franchises aren't really out anymore, and that's true. Eventually, the desire to play like this ran out. But when it was at its peak, there was nothing like it. And now for number 6. But first, be sure to subscribe if you're new here and let me know your favorite video game. Number 6. Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is an important game in history, even as much as it's an addicting title, for it was the first successful video game that Nintendo ever made. Now that may sound wrong, but it's true. Nintendo didn't start out as a video game company. Instead, they were a toy and card company. But when the arcade craze came, they made a game called Radar Scope, and it failed pretty badly. Desperate for something new, they went to a man named Miyamoto to help make a new arcade game that would bring people to the table, so to speak. Through that came Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was a simple title in concept. You played as Mario, then known as Jumpman, who was out to save Pauline from a giant ape called Donkey Kong. The game was fun, yet difficult. Difficult in a way that only a few video games were at the time. Yet through its levels, the game provided not only a challenge, but a story, something that arcade video games rarely had. The game was so addicting that Nintendo made a lot of money and awards for the title. It was literally the start of their domination in video games. Even in the modern times, Donkey Kong is an addictive title. There's a battle going on right now for the honor of getting the most points in a Donkey Kong game. This competition got so intense that it got made into a movie. King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. Number 5. Fruit Ninja. A problem and stigma that many video games had in their evolution in the 90s and 2000s was that they weren't really for everyone. While arcade games were something most anyone could drop in and play, that wasn't the case for the games on consoles and certain handhelds. But in 2010, that stigma was definitely sliced with a title called Fruit Ninja. Fruit Ninja started off as a simple downloadable title by Halfbrick, and its purpose was simple. Fruit flies up, you swipe on the screen to slice it. Very simple, very addicting. Over the course of 2010 to 2013, Fruit Ninja would go from several million downloads to over 300 million, and only grew from there. The title went from just being an app to having bigger versions made for places like Dave & Buster's, not to mention all the spin-offs, upgraded versions, and sponsor versions like Fruit Ninja Puss in Boots. So why is Fruit Ninja so addicting? Because people love slicing the fruit, and they want to keep getting better at it, so they keep playing. And it's a title people can literally play for a few minutes and then put down, which not all video games can say. Get this, it's so addictive and popular that it's even getting a live-action movie made about it. Number 4. Tetris. There are many pillars on which a video game industry was founded on, and Tetris is by and large one of the most important pillars of the lot. Made and released in 1984 by Alexei Pajitnov in Russia, it was the first Russian video game to ever be brought to the United States, and for good reason. It was addicting, highly so in fact. The premise of Tetris is very simple. You'll find 4 block objects called tetrominoes falling down from above in various formats. Your job is to line them up, making a perfect line within the game screen, and then just keep going until you can't go anymore. Other versions would add variations, but this is the basic version that everyone knows. It's a simple concept, but with the addition of speed, the randomness of the blocks that fall next, and the puzzle aspect of it, Tetris grew very popular. While it started on consoles, it made its name on the Game Boy, because people could just take it anywhere. My dad used to steal my Game Boy to play Tetris after I'd gone to bed, which was fine, as long as he replaced the batteries so I could play again in the morning. And from that point on, Tetris was a worldwide phenomenon. In 2010, it was revealed that during its lifetime, Tetris had sold over 170 million copies, including 100 million on cell phones, which makes it the most downloaded cell phone game of all time. Oh, and it's also the best-selling video game of all time, too. And it's also inspired knockoffs. But no matter the version or the name attached to it, people know exactly what started it all. And it was simply called Tetris. Number 3. Angry Birds. They stole their eggs. That was it. That was the basis of what started the Angry Birds revolution when it was launched by Rovio Entertainment in 2009. This game would later take off and turn into a phenomenon that's still felt to this day, despite its kind of waning popularity. In Angry Birds, you take on the role of various birds of shapes, sizes, and abilities, and fight off the scourge of a group of pigs who stole your eggs. The pigs are within various constructions, and you must use aiming and gravity to do damage to their fortresses in order to complete the level. This fun twist on action was very popular, and the original Angry Birds got 12 million downloads because of it. Then Rovio made numerous sequels and spin-offs, including one focusing on the pigs. The popularity of the franchise grew so large that Angry Birds even became an animated movie. Number 2. Candy Crush. When you hear free-to-play, it's almost an invitation to try it out just to see how it goes. And this was one of the reasons why Candy Crush became one of the most addictive games of all time. The game is utterly simplistic. You get a board filled with candy, and then you move them around until you have a match of 3 or 4 of the same color. They get crushed, and you get new candy. And then you do this on and on and on until you can't do it anymore. Released in 2012, Candy Crush Saga became the freemium model of gaming, in which you can play the game for free, or you can spend a few dollars and get some help with the boards. This is what helped make it so addicting, as gamers wanted to reach that next level. In 2014, over 90 million players were crushing Candy, and revenue over 3 months was nearly $500 million. In the first 5 years, Candy Crush was downloaded by 2.7 billion people. It was also made into a game show, which was also addicting in its own right. And number 1, Super Mario Bros. The year was 1983, and in America, video games were kinda dying. The video game crash had begun, and there was no hope of video games coming back, until Nintendo released a game called Super Mario Bros. This was the true birth of Mario and his side-scrolling adventures. The game came with the arrival of the Nintendo Entertainment System in the United States, and between it and Japan, the game became a worldwide phenomenon. The game's colorful world, the power-ups that made Mario stronger, and more, that all lent to the game becoming a worldwide hit. In fact, Super Mario Bros. Is the 6th best-selling game of all time. However, if you don't include multi-platform titles, it'd probably be around 2, give or take. And Mario games are still being made to this day. But arguably the most addicting thing about the original Super Mario Bros. Is the music. The classic Mario theme is a song that got in everyone's head, and it hasn't left for over 30 years. Thanks for watching. Which game was your favorite? How many hours did you spend on some of these games? I know I spent a lot. Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to World List if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.